It's close to 2.5 years since Elegant Weapons made their live UK debut at Steelhouse Festival. MetalTalk also caught them at that year's Hellfest. Two superb sets backed up their debut album, Horns for a Halo, and now with second album, Evolution, due in April, I'm thrilled to welcome guitar maestro Richie Faulkner to MetalTalk. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. What a fantastic introduction. Thank you very much.
Cool, cool, cool. I mean, Horns for a Halo was a superb album. I mean, with the schedules of yourself and Ronnie, Dave, and Christopher, it must have been really special to be able to spend some time together and go and run around some stages.
That's what it's about, really, isn't it? I mean, if you speak to 95% of musicians, they say live is what it's about, getting out there in front of people, creating that connection with the songs and the people, and kind of building a relationship, I think, which lasts or can last a lifetime with the fans.
Yep.
We know hard rock and metal fans are for life, and it's from the stage, I think, that those relationships are forged. So we were stoked to get out there.
Fantastic, fantastic. I mean, for Evolution, I really loved the energy across it. I had such great fun listening to it. I mean, it had me thinking about back to when I first started discovering some metal. I mean, I remember listening to those first two Dio albums, yeah, and some tracks would have those Campbell outro solos,
Oh, yeah.
and they were such fun to listen to. So, I mean, you talk about thrown to the wolves is like this. That guitar outro is so awesome, but it's still natural, yeah. I mean, the album, sorry, it's a long way of saying, but the album's got plenty of axe slinging in there, yeah. But it's still the songwriting that's very much to the fore.
I think that you hit the nail on the head there, man. Obviously, I'm a guitar player. We're all, concentrate on the song though. And as far as songwriting is concerned, it's got to be the song. It's got to be, not everyone's a guitar player or a drummer. And I think a lot of people, they consume music from a totally different perspective than musicians do. So it's about the song. It's about, a lot of times the vocal and the melody and the message behind the song. And I always try to keep that in mind. That's the priority when writing a song, not just a guitar solo. Actually, the ballad on the album doesn't really have a guitar solo, just as you said, some stuff at the end, because I didn't think it called for it. It was stronger. It was more about the song and the sentiment behind the song. That's paramount, really.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, Bridges Burn and The Devil Calls kind of fit into that style as well, with the kind of the solo towards the end, and it kind of got me really invested when I was listening to it. But let's talk a bit more about the album. The album opens on Evil Eyes. I mean, I love that riff. Christopher Williams really pushes the track along, and Ronnie is awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic opening for the album.
Yeah, I mean they're all great. I think it's a good introduction to the album. It's a good introduction to people that haven't heard the band before, I think,
Hmm.
and it's a good introduction to fans of the band. That like the first one and are interested in this one. It opens up the album nicely, introduces the new members as well. I mean, I say new members. They've been with us a few years now. But Christopher and Davey have been with us for a couple of years, and it's their first time on record with the
Hmm.
band. So, I mean, as you said, Ronnie is always great. Christopher, great introduction, and Davey as well. I mean, the rhythm section on this record, I think, is fantastic, and it's a great evolution, a great introduction to that out of the gate. So we hope people are going to dig it.
Yeah, cool. I mean, you get your first awesome solo in as well. Is that a drill or a hair dryer before the solo kicks in?
Yeah, it does sound a bit like that. It was something on the guitar. I probably can't recreate it either. It's one of those things where it was a sound effect that I got out of the guitar. I tried to do it again and couldn't do it. I couldn't do it exactly, so I kept that one. I think it's I pull up on the tremolo arm or something like
Right.
that, and it just had that kind of industrial drill
Hmm.
type vibe, and it seemed to go really well. So we kept it in there. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm glad you noticed that. I
Yeah.
just can't do it again. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I mean, hairdryer is a bit soft, really. A Generation Me. I love this track. I mean, the pace of the track rolls along really nicely, and Ronnie's vocal is great. I mean, it's an immediate nodder and had me smiling. And you throw plenty of awesome kind of licks and solos in there. I mean, when you're in the studio, is it great fun sprinkling that kind of guitar lick magic across the tracks?
Definitely, yeah. As I said, the song comes first, and then if I can get any little licks and stuff in there, then I will. I mean, that was a song. It was the second song on the record. It's a leveler.
Mhm.
You know, we got the first one out the way.
Mhm.
It's right out the gate. It's a fast song, and then it levels with this one. And it was the first track on the record when I was writing it that really set the tone for where the album was going. Up until that point, I had a bit of a song here, a bit of a song there. Wasn't quite sure where it was going. And this one, Generation Me, came together quite well and quite quickly and really kind of set the tone and made me think, this is it. This is where the album's going. This is what it's going to be. And everything flowed better from there. So it was an important track to write for the record.
Yeah, cool, cool. I mean, you mentioned Davey Rimmer. I mean, he rolls along the riff on his bass there. You know, that's really impressive. It must be a that sort of track is a bass player's dream, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's great. You know, I've known Davey for over 25 years. We used to, we went through the trenches in the bars and clubs and pubs around London and the UK. 25, like quarter of a century ago.
Yeah.
We were doing that together. We're good friends, and it's great to have him in the band. It's like you know what he's going to do, and you can trust him. You know what I mean? He's on a musical level. I mean,
Mhm.
so it's good to be playing with him, and good to have him in the band. He's fantastic.
Excellent, excellent. Bridges Burn is another great track. I love Ronnie's vocal on that. I mean, how special is it for you to be able to create stuff with Ronnie Romero?
Oh, it's a dream, really. Great vocalist. I say it all the time. Not just a singer. He's a bit like Rob Halford, really, in the sense that he doesn't only sing. He fronts a band. He
Hmm.
performs, and he kind of connects the audience to the song, which is a skill set in itself.
Hmm.
A lot of people can sing. I mean, I can sing. I think I can sing in the shower. But there's people out there that can sing and emote and present a song in an emotional way, and he's one of those. And we produced him a lot more on this record as well.
Right.
We did a three-way, me, Andy Sneap, the producer, and Ronnie on a Zoom call in Ronnie's studio, and produced it from the vocals from the ground up. So if there was a different technique that we wanted to use, or a different mic, or a different vocal line, or melody, or harmony, whatever it might have been, we really built it out from the ground up, which we didn't do on the first record.
Right. Okay.
So I think there's more Ronnie Romero on this one. And I think Ronnie would agree.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I noticed that some of the layers around the vocal is really impressive across the whole album.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. The first record, we had the vocals recorded already by another singer, so we gave them to Ronnie, and he sang them pretty much how they were,
Mhm.
and that was it. But with this one, we could change stuff if we could get a better performance or a better vocal line, better melody, better wording or
Mhm.
something. We did it. So I think we definitely got the best out of him and best out of the vocals that we had.
Okay, that's a cool insight. I mean, Bridges Burn is a really good track. The guitar is awesome. I love the relationship between the main part of the song and the middle, where you have great fun with the solo, and then there's that ripping outro, isn't there? I mean, Elegant Weapons is your classic four-piece, one guitar band, and live that track is going to sound great. Yeah, is live a consideration when you're writing?
Definitely. As I said before, I think we live to play live, and whenever we're writing songs, either with Elegant Weapons or with Priest, it always goes through your mind how when you're writing a song and putting parts together, how is this going to translate live?
Hmm.
This is going to be a great part live, or I can imagine this, or this doesn't quite work. This wouldn't work live, and let's change it to something that would. It's always a consideration in your mind because of the live aspect to it, and it's definitely a part when you're writing the song. So yeah, we're out with Priest in the summer, and then after that, we're looking at putting some Weapons dates together. So as soon as we do, we'll let everyone know.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic news. And for you writing, yeah, I mean, obviously the one guitar band, is that different for you, or how do you approach that differently?
It is, yeah. It's got its pros and cons. Obviously there's more space to fill
Hmm.
with one guitar. And I have considered, obviously this album's called Evolution, and maybe in the future it might be a further evolution. I've considered another guitar player or a guitar slash keyboard player like in UFO.
Hmm.
Because there's a couple of keyboard tracks in on this record. Adam Wakeman actually played keys on this record for two
Yep.
tracks. And there's a few more tracks as well, and on the last record, which had some B3 like Hammond type stuff in there. So it might be enough to have if someone could play guitar, play Hammond, and some backing vocals, something like that, to fill some space. So, but at the moment, it's just me, and I like having the freedom. But I have considered adding another person in the future. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, okay, interesting, interesting. Holy Roller. I mean, there's a real Robin Trower feel, especially to the first part, and especially to the way Ronnie sings. But I love the way the track progresses, especially leading into your guitar solo. I mean, when you realise that's about the Jonestown massacre, I really get that sense of doom in your guitar soloist. It comes across as quite goosebumpy.
Yeah, it's a tragic story, to anyone that doesn't know what it is. But it's one of those things, isn't it? And it's just telling a bit of history, really, and how people can be tempted by things that are, out of this world, really, and they go along with it. But yeah, it's got a kind of bit of a Sabbathy feel, bit of a trow. Someone else actually described it as trower, bit of Hendrix in there, and
Hmm.
that's kind of the DNA of the band, really. There is that kind of Sabbathy, Hendrixy type, Alice in Chainsy type stuff in there. And again, Ronnie just is the icing on the cake, and it gets kind of quicker as the song progresses, and
Yep.
then races off at the end. So yeah, really love that song.
Yeah, cool. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Come Back to Me is great. I mean, people don't really associate with you with the ballad.
No, that's part of the reason for the evolution name is
Hmm.
that I found it appropriate really to show another side of the band on this record. And before this, that song again, it's one of those songs it's been around for a long time in
Hmm.
various forms, hasn't seemed to work. I haven't I had the chorus for a long time, hadn't found a home for it. And for some reason, I found a home for it on this one. It clicked, put the song together, and I thought it showed another side to the band, and showed a evolution in style, and just another side to the band. And I thought it was appropriate to put on. So it might surprise a few people,
Hmm.
but I think it shows another side of the band, which is a good one.
Yeah, it's classy. I love Adam Wakeman's playing on there, and again, Ronnie brings the song to life. Yeah, I mean, lyrics are important, especially in a ballad. I mean, I was thinking about there was a young blues guitarist, maybe 18, 19, 20. I was listening to his album a couple of years back, and he did that classic blues song, My Baby Done Left Me sort of thing,
Hmm.
and I was thinking, mate, you're like 18, 19. Yeah, you should be going out down the pub and snecking a couple of beers and
Yeah,
meeting some new bird. But and it kind of ruined the whole album for me because it wasn't authentic. Yeah.
right.
But we've come back to me, you've got Ronnie again layering his vocals over there. The lyrics are great. It really brings out everything in the song.
Yeah, that's one of the secret weapons with Ronnie, really. The way his voice is, it's a classic voice, that we all kind of love that quality in. And again, he really kind of connects the emotion of the song with the listener. And
Mm-hmm.
it is about, I think we've all been there. I think it's a universal theme. You might be in a relationship with someone and you can feel it kind of slipping away and no one knows really what to do. And that's basically it, really. And I think it's something everyone can relate to.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, Ronnie just pulls it off and connects that sentimental. It's a heavy subject, but he
Yep.
connects the listener to it really well.
Yeah, no, and it comes across as well. And again, in that track, you've got the kind of those melodic guitar parts that go over it.
Mm.
It's almost like another voice you're layering on top.
Yeah, as I said before, I've just found a home for that chorus. I had it a long time. Look, I'm thinking maybe 15, 20 years I've had that chorus.
Wow. Okay.
Um, and once you find a verse that fits it, those other little parts that you just mentioned, they kind of flow in by default, really. Once you find one connection, all the
Hmm.
others fall into place. So I'm happy it did.
Cool, cool, cool. I mean, The Devil Calls is awesome. I love the synth there. Thrown to the Wolves, that's a real kind of hard blues.
Mm.
Again, I love the riff there with the double bass in parts, and you had some fun with Jared James Nichols with that track.
Yeah, he's a great friend of mine, Jared, and there were a couple of solos in that song, and it was more of a blues leaning, hard rock, hard blues sort of
Hmm.
sound. And I thought, obviously, I did one of the solos, and I thought it would be great to ask him if he could come and do the second one. And he said, yeah, he came in, he did about three takes, and it was done. And I
Right.
remember my one. I had to ponder. I did mine in about 1,000 takes. You know what I mean? I had to kind of
Right.
think, but he just came in and he laid it down, and it's got all the heart and the passion and the fire that Jared James Nichols playing has. So he did great, and I'm really grateful that he could come and do
Yeah.
that.
Now it comes across really well, and again, Ronnie is superb on that track. Rupture, you get your synth out again. This is one of those awesome instrumental kind of deep dive album tracks that maybe gets lost in the streaming world, which is kind of a real shame because especially when it runs into Mercy of the Fallen.
Yeah, well, Rupture was. It's funny. There's a little story. I was a couple of years ago. Adam Jones from Tool got in touch and he asked me if I wanted to play a song with them at Bridgestone Arena out
Mhm.
here in Nashville. And I said, yeah, that'd be great. And I put the phone down and I automatically thought, what have I done? What have I signed up for? Playing Tool songs is no easy feat. So I learned the song and I sat there for about 2 weeks practicing this song and learning all the parts and did it and it was great. But I think the that all went in and I came up with this kind of guitar part that was kind of Tool-esque. And I couldn't think of any lyrics or melody to go with it, but I could hear a heartbeat through it. I could
Yeah.
hear like a pulsing heart, and I could, sometimes when you write music, you get like a movie in your head. You can see a
Yep.
scene that the music is painting a picture of, and I could see something that referred to my own experience. It's like someone in a hospital bed with machines around them and plugged into tubes and life support machines, and I could feel, turmoil and concern and anguish, but I could also hear hope as well.
Mhm.
So that's what it was. The heartbeat going through there was someone's like survival, really, trying to survive. And at the end, obviously on the album, it flatlines.
Mhm.
So the person flatlines. Luckily, I didn't. I'm talking to you today, but and then it crashes in with Mercy of the Fallen after, so it creates like a cool dynamic into Mercy of the Fallen. And Mercy of the Fallen actually contains a reprise of that, so it kind of
Yep.
they're kind of related in some way. So that was a cool thing to get on an album as well.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I love when the way Ronnie sings "Redemption, See the Light Divine." You can really feel that when you listen to it loud.
Again, man, you can't say enough about Ronnie. Everything he does, and again, when we were producing him, Andy would be right on top of that. He'd be saying, do that again. Make sure that this line or that line gets pronounced well, and emphasis on this word or that word. And he made sure that all those things popped out when they needed to. So yeah, kudos to Andy as well. He's a major part of the team, really, the production team, and made sure that all those things came out when they needed to.
Yeah, no, it's a cool job he's done. You finish on Keeper of the Keys. I mean, that's a beautiful song with a proper ending to cap a beautiful album. I mean, for me, Evolution is a triumph of songwriting and a real throwback to when albums were albums and were meant to be listened to all the way through. And Keeper of the Keys has got that really classic ending as well, hasn't it?
I really appreciate you saying that. It's what we try to do. You put an album together as an album. I
Mm.
don't know if people do that anymore. Obviously, people of a certain age and above do,
Mhm.
but it's almost becoming a lost art. People listen to tracks or a couple of tracks alone, but that's what we try and do.
Mm.
And Keeper of the Keys is exactly that. I couldn't find any other place to put it on the
Mm.
record. The way it finishes, it starts with Ronnie keyboard and the guitar, and it's almost like a Deep Purple type intro, and it didn't need anything else. It just needed bare bones in Adam Wakeman on the keys, Ronnie and myself playing, and it goes from there, and it kind of thunders along at the end, and it almost sounds like a jam, like a
Mhm.
live jam at the end because of the keyboard and everything. And when it finishes, and it kind of the Hammond's bubbling over, the rotary speakers going, and it ends like that. I just thought, well, I wanted it towards the front of the album just to showcase what the band's doing now, but I couldn't think of anything to put after it, so
Yep.
it had to go at the end, and it finishes it off nicely, as you said. So no, I appreciate you saying that.
No, it is that classic album, and it kind of makes you want to buy it on vinyl. I was listening to it before you jumped on the call today. But I mean, like I say, the whole album is great. The songs and the journey across the whole album are really at the forefront. Yeah, but as a band, yeah, each member gets their own chance to shine on the way through. You must be really pleased with the way it's come out and the way it's going to reflect the band.
Absolutely, yeah. I think, as I said, I think it is an evolution of the band, hopefully the songwriting, and where we're going on our trajectory. Look, bands like Priest, I've said before, they started and they started from nothing and made it
Hmm.
into this huge thing that it is, and hopefully we get the chance to do the same. And whether it's 2 albums or 3 or 4 albums, I'll be grateful. Just to create our own thing, and hopefully we're well on our way now, with
Yeah.
the evolution and hopefully into the future as well.
Yeah, no, it's cool. For me, it really showcases the songwriting. When I first listened to it all the way through, I made a note that, like in "Come Back to Me," you could have dropped that kind of slash solo in the middle to kind of
Mhm,
do the Axemen guitar guru type thing. Yeah, but
mhm.
it would have totally ruined the track. So I think the way everything fits together is really really cool. And just going on to gigs, you mentioned gigs, so there's some great news that we might see you over here later on in the year then.
I hope so. I was on a call with Ronnie a couple of days ago, and it's getting everyone together. Obviously, everyone, Ronnie's doing his thing at the moment. Dave is out with Uriah Heep over the
Hmm.
summer. Christopher's out with Accept. It's just getting everyone together
Yep.
and planning it in enough time so that we can be everyone's free at the same time. So we're looking at a little bit later in the year, when Priest is off tour, and obviously everyone's off tour. We can get something together. Maybe do something in the States as well. Maybe do some in the UK. We'd like to get over to Japan and places like that as well.
Yep. Cool.
Wherever we can, really, wherever we can take this, and as I said before, play live and connect with as many fans as we can.
Cool. Cool. And if you hit London at the right time, yeah. Any plans to bring Ronnie along to Metalworks?
Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
That-
Fantastic, yeah. And that's it's one of those things. Whenever I'm in town, I always try and get down there,
Mhm.
because that's what it's all about, really.
Mhm.
Getting in front of people, playing great songs, and that's where we all come from.
Yep.
You know, so hopefully, yeah, that would be great.
And you can get in free and watch it. Yep.
I never know. I never know. Sometimes they charge me to get in, but you never know. They might be
Uh,
feeling nice on the night.
yeah, fantastic. Elegant Weapons release Evolution on the 24th of April, and it's an awesome album. Uh, Richie, I really appreciate your time. Any message for the fans?
No, just thanks for your support, obviously during the first record, and hopefully you dig this one, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Fantastic. Richie Faulkner, thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you, mate. Take care now.